How we doing, people? I'm Captain Tommy Scoville, and you are on the lifeboat. If I'm not mistaken, I heard a rumor that it might be M. Hunt's birthday. Shows you that I don't pay nearly as much attention into the live chat as I used to, because apparently that popped up this morning on the live chat, and I didn't see it. I'm kind of bummed out about that. But glad that you're here, Dennis. Good to see you. Seventh son, M. Hunt. Happy birthday, Dennis N. aka Heather Joy, Noise Opera, my brother. Blue Dazzle Bug. Did I leave anybody out? Conky Dons. Good to see you. Glad that you are here as well. So, Stacy Michaels, how you doing? Brandon Calloway, Crazy Cat. Boy, we got the whole team. So here's the deal, crew. There's a guy that does sports for CBS Sports. And, hey, Sharon. His name is Scotty Farrell. And if you're a sports fan, I used to be at one time. Thank you, Sharon. What a cool thing to say. I really appreciate that. We love you, too. So the Scotty Farrell does a sport program on CBS, and it's called, well, you know what? I don't listen to sports anymore in about 3 years, 4 years. He used to have one. I assume he still does. But it's called Farrell on the Bench. And the guy kind of sounds like, maybe he gargled with broken glass. And so today, I started to hear my own voice, and I thought, damn, I sound like Scotty Farrell. Like, my voice is just torn up. Doing 2 of these a day is not that bad, but if you spend 2.5 hours on the phone yelling at people from a terrible phone company, it just gets worn out. I was back on the phone with them again this morning. And they're worthless. I'm sorry, they really are. They're 2 different companies, right? So I'm getting kicked back and forth between Sprint and their ugly competitor, or partner, I should say, David Kimball. Good to see you. Which is T-Mobile. Like, if you're the same company, well, we can't check your bill, but we can do maintenance. This guy can't do this, but he can do that. And they kept saying to me, no, you bought the phone on credit. I go, have I ever missed a payment? Have I ever not paid my bill in a month? He said, no, you've always paid your bill. I said, well, then why would you hit me with a bill for $500? If I've never missed a payment and it's financed, shouldn't I just be paying the finance? Why out of the blue did you decide I needed to pay you $566.16? Because it doesn't make any sense at all, right? It really doesn't. It makes no sense at all. So, I'm to the point now where, like, if I don't get some satisfaction out of these people and quickly, I'm going to throw the thing as far as I possibly can. And that's no joke. Like, I am pretty well sick of it. Cindy Pardee, good to see ya. Who I was looking for was V, but Miss V. I have a Zoom meeting now on Friday with an attorney again. So, this Friday coming up? Okay. So we should know a lot more by then. That's good. Spanx Calhoun, good to see you. Glad that you're here. So, people, I'm going to go as long as I can tonight. If it really starts killing me, I'll probably bow out so that I don't screw myself up so bad that I can't do the rest of the week. There's a pretty cool thing coming up for members this week. It's probably going to be Friday night. All right, it's going to be Friday night. And if you want to shoot me a text or an email and tell me, the times that are good for you, and we'll try to cater to as many people as possible. Or, we'll take everybody's time, put it all together, and go, well, the most amount of people said this, and then we'll go at that time. So, well, I hope you feel like being here too. I really do. So, if you saw the thumbnail, the reality of trying to stay sober, goes something like this. Bert Miranda, good to see you. From the bottom of my heart to the person I responded to this morning, if you're here saying it's their fault, I am so, so sorry. I was completely out of line, and I've been a full... You know what? It's nice that, that... But, let's love and forget, people. Please. We're the lifeboat. Held to a much higher standard, which is why he came here and apologized. And I don't know who he's apologizing to, but I gotta believe whoever it is will realize that was about as legit as you could possibly get. You don't have to leave, brother. You're on the boat. You don't have to go anywhere. Please, you ain't gotta go anywhere. That's counterproductive to everything we do here. You ain't gotta leave. Doesn't work like that. Honestly, does not work like that. So, the nature of what we do in sobriety is that you get a lot of stuff that sneaks up on you from behind. And we talk about the rear view mirror all the time, right? All the time. If you spend your time looking at the rear view mirror instead of looking out of that big piece of glass from the front, you're never going to get where you're going. And there's an excellent chance you're going to run into somebody, right? Or a wall. Nothing good happens if you're living in the past. You can't do anything about it. So we're always telling everybody here that when the past starts coming up, what do? Well, you change the stuff you're looking at. You go outside, grab your journal, do that, right? There's a lot of things that you can do to get your mind off of the past and sort of move it into the future. Stephanie Munoz, good to see you. You know what? It's speaker's throat, I think. I don't know that it's much of a cold. I think I just gotta wearing the voice out, unfortunately. Tamara, good to see you. Yeah, I think I'm pretty good as far as it goes, though. So we do the standard stuff. Your mind can't think of two things at the same time, right? Two things can't occupy the same space at the same time. That's a physics law. It is also a law inside your dome, right? Your gray matter will never be concentrating on two things at the same time. It just doesn't happen. So if the past is really rearing up on you and it's making you super uncomfortable and, you're beating yourself up with ants and all of that stuff, obviously these are the things that we try to encourage you to do. Change what's going on in your head because it's going to make you a lot more comfortable really quickly if you could just get that thought out of your dome. However, ZW, good to see you. However, there are times where your past is going to come up and there's not a damn thing you can do about it. For real. There's no way to avoid it, right? Yesterday I talked about getting pulled over by the police for nothing. I mean, literally for nothing. They wanted to get a look at my car, maybe have a chance to search it if by some chance my paperwork wasn't in order or whatever. But it was not randomly pulling me over because the sticker on my license plate was out, because it wasn't. It's not even close. In my opinion, they kind of just wanted to look at the car, which is fine. I'm not doing anything illegal, right? But I didn't call my probation officer to tell him that I was questioned by the police. And he's just doing his job, right? But the people that wrote this, apparently if a police officer says to you, do you have your license, your registration, and proof of insurance? That's questioning you. I never put that together because normally when I think of people questioning somebody, like I did some pretty bad stuff in my life. When I was getting questioned, you were in a little room and they were locking stuff up and it was really, really awful. Yeah, he says, oh no, always called the PO. Well, I mean, live and learn. Yeah, I probably should have called him. I really should have. But you talk about another just perfect example of your past coming up and giving you a smack in the head. When I first got on paper, I got pulled over. I told everybody on the boat, if you've been here long enough, it's a long time ago, but everybody on the boat will probably remember I was picking up a watch and looking at a watch in this like red case, original boxed and papered watch, and I held it up, and the police thought it was a cell phone, thought it was on a red cell phone, so they pulled me over for distracted driving. Wrote me a warning when they found out that it wasn't a phone. And I called my PO. This was the first PO. I've had like 4 or 5 now or something. And the first PO said to me, because I had to track him down, like I had to go hop through some hoops, and he's like, you called me for this? truthfully. So you kind of get mixed signals, but whatever. My PO right now is a pretty nice guy. Honestly, he is. He's a pretty nice guy, but he needs to sort of get this stuff and do it the right way, the way they want it done. But I talk all the time about run this to the final conclusion, right? Run this to the final conclusion of how bad this could have got. Let's say today I don't have my phone, and when he calls, I don't get the message. Now he writes down, couldn't get a hold of him, 48 hours. That's going to go into the file, so that when the time comes to get off a little bit early, you're going to see something on the judge's desk that says something along the lines of was questioned by authorities or was questioned by the police and didn't inform adult probation. Doesn't sound good. And then disappeared for 2 days so that we could not get a hold of him or whatever. I got a hold of him like that. And he said to me, you're not in trouble or anything else. But they tried to manufacture trouble. That's my past, which I earned. Make no mistake, people. It's not like my past is sneaking up on me, right? Because this is what I did. I brought all of this on. I really did. I brought all of this on. And it's a bummer. It's a bummer. But this is one of those things that kind of put me on edge today. And, to keep it straight, today's not a good day for me anyway. This is the anniversary of my dad leaving the earth. And, I didn't bring this up on any of the other videos. And I didn't bring it up this morning. I'm sorry that you're buffering, V. Am I buffering for everybody? Hey, Pagan, good to see you. So I didn't bring it up this morning because I'll be really honest with you. This morning, I thought this wasn't going to be a big deal. I really did. I thought I basically had dealt with every part of this and that, I pretty much had it under control. And, I know what's up. And, I no doubt whatsoever. Full of Hope says you'll see him again. I'm not a cat that questions that. I'll be really honest with you. I'm not. And as this day got closer, that was the stuff I was thinking about. I thought, it's no big deal, right? Honestly, it's not. But, I don't care what I tried to do with my brain today. There was just no getting rid of the memory. And the memory of when I heard it. And, he spent a lot of time on Chase the Heat. Yeah, for sure. That's funny. I'm glad that those are up there. It gives me an opportunity to go and see them. It's like visiting him, but not visiting him. There's some really great videos. Thank you, Tamara. I appreciate that. It's, it's not like I'm the only cat in the world that's going to do this, right? Every single person. Hey, John, thank you. And you know what? I love you guys too. I really do. Southern Grace 8. Good to see you. T. Prada. Good to see you. Boy, we got the crew. So, but the combination of all three things coming down on me today at the same time. I'm on the phone with people who, for all intents and purposes, are ripping me off, right? They're going to sit there and say to me, well, you put $500 down and you set up a payment plan. I'm like, great, get me the contract, right? It's got to be a contract. And every time you come at these people with logic, they put you on hold. You wait on hold for 2 minutes. They come back and they snow you. Like the person came back and said, I'll be darned, you're absolutely right. I said, excellent. You did put a lot of money down. It was $500. It's like, this is where we were when you disappeared a minute ago. We're not any closer to the truth than where we were when you disappeared. So that really kind of had me on the edge. And then, on top of that, the memories sort of crawling up. And guess what it's doing outside? We're getting another blizzard. I don't know how many times I've shoveled this driveway. We were taking guesses. I'm thinking 5 or 6 since this stuff has started. And it really is becoming just this nonstop, I have to go out there every 5 hours and just shovel the thing. It's pretty ugly weather here. Spanx, it would be nice if I was still skiing or doing something with it, Like I used to take him skiing or we would go outside and play in it. But now these days, it's just kind of a pain in the keister. Virginia, good to see you. Charlie Mullins. All right, Charlie. I have seasonal depression that is worse between 219 and 413 every year, whether I realize it or not. Mom's birthday and my ex anniversary. 219, mom passed away. 413. Now that's my grand princess's baby. So better birthday. So, it's a perfect example of exactly what I'm talking about. Let's say, when you try to get sober, your significant other doesn't stick with you on the journey. That happens a lot, right? So you find yourself single, and you're coming around after 1 year of sobriety, and you hit that day when that you got married on, and that's just gonna bring back a flood of memories. And here's the deal: I'm not a guru. I'm not. I'm just a drug addict trying to stay sober, and I got about 8 years. Right, it'll be 8 years here in June. So I've been doing pretty good, but anything I say here, I stole from somebody smarter than me. You know what I mean? I'm a parrot. I can bring in information and then I can spit it back out. You know what? I've been doing that, Miss Dragon. I really have. I've been doing all kinds of stuff. Yeah, it's a really hard thing, and the memories are going to come up on you. And earlier today, like as we were starting to get closer to the boat, I started to think, you know what? My throat's killing me. Like I'm feeling it. And it probably shouldn't go on there and do an hour of this. You know what? These guys are going to understand. I'm not going to do any of this. I'm just going to, I'll make like a 2-minute video and they can hear my voice and know something's up. I sounded bad this morning and, I'll mention my father and whatever. But here's the deal. As the captain likes to say, this is my therapy, right? I don't have all of the answers. I will never have all of the answers. But one of the things that I've learned is if you don't have the answer, surround yourself with a whole bunch of people, because the opposite of addiction is connection. The opposite of addiction is connection. And I'll be damned, if I shut this down, what am I doing? All right? I'm just going to go and I'm going to pull everything in, and it's going to get worse. It's going to get worse, and it's going to get worse. And tomorrow, my father was always used to say that things look different when the sun comes up. It's never as bad as it was in the dark. And, tomorrow's sunrise is going to bring in a new day. But if I don't talk to people, if I leave this inside and let it fester, when the sun comes up tomorrow, I'm not going to be any better than I am now. So, just from a standpoint of taking care of me, this was something that I really feel like I needed to do. The Dead End Collective. You have been very honest in the last few minutes. Yeah, thanks. This is one of those situations that, sadly, there's nobody that's going to duck out on this. There's just really nobody out there that gets to avoid this. It is kind of the nature of this whole life thing. There's just no way to bail out on it. Everybody loses people that they're very close to. And when I talk about the perspective, right, when I'm trying to not let really small things get to me, this is the big end, right? Losing my dad was one of the things that just really kicked me in the gut, and it probably had a lot to do with the fact that I should have spent a lot more time with him. Right? We were very, very close, but I went away, toward the end of his life, and I went away for a long time, and that could have been avoided. And it's just rearview mirror stuff. It really is. There's nothing I can do about it now, except kind of share it with people. That's really the only hope. With me is to get this stuff out in the open, talk about it. The fact that there are so many people who have experienced the same thing, right, or know they're going to. I mean, this is just, I think that depending on what you believe happens when you pass. Just telling Captain my short story today took a lot off my heart. I love a good short story. That is Nile, Tommy. Who is the collective? Okay. Hey, Sarah. Good to see you. Sarah. Also writes well. If only the socks smell like Fritos and corn chips. Oh my goodness. Yeah. So, well, I'm glad that he stopped by. I really am. When it happens and you don't have all the answers, right? Fall back on what has kept you sober the entire time. Right? Reach out to the 5 people that you trust. And if that doesn't work, go to a meeting. Right? Fortunately, I go to a meeting every day, sometimes twice a day, right? More often than not, twice a day. I like it. I think it's a pretty cool name. I really do. I think it's a pretty cool name. Whether you believe it or not, I just had a feeling. I just had a feeling. No, hey, just Ruth, good to see you. So, yeah, nuts and bolts stuff. If you don't have the answers, go back and start, go back to your notebooks. When I was doing the whole Rageaholic thing, I went back to my journals and literally, like, some of the stuff would really make you laugh. There are entire pages where I talk about how much I hate Q. Because of the things that he was making me do. Like, I would just go in and journal, and I wasn't really a journaler yet. And, I was in there just writing, man, I can't believe he's going to be doing this stupid stuff. And, you could tell that I was gritting my teeth, through the entire process, which was, it was funny to go back and read it. But it was also poignant because all of the things that I was working through at the time were pretty freaking heavy. You know what I mean? Like, I had just gotten stabbed. I had just come off solitary confinement. I spent my birthday in solitary confinement. And I can't remember if it was my birthday the day before or the day after, but that week of my birthday, I got the Dear Tommy letter that started out, I could think of a million things that I would like to say to you right now. But she just went with, I want a divorce. She didn't really take herself up on any of those million things. She just went with I want a divorce. And she was kind enough to send the divorce papers and tell me that she was not going to be able to refinance the house if I didn't sign over my my part of it to her. I didn't fight on any of that. I didn't. But I was really working through a whole lot of, hey, Piper, I was really working through a lot of stuff that was very difficult. And going back and reading what Q's advice, and amazingly, like, I don't ever remember a day where he didn't have an answer for every question that I asked. Like, I thought he was probably one of the smartest people in the world. Because every time I had a question, he had an answer, and it was always a good one. You know what I mean? Like, he really did feel like a guru, and he never raised his voice. He was just one of the most calming influences I've ever had. But when I went back through the notes, man, there were a bunch of times that he said to me, I don't have any idea what to tell you. You're coping through a divorce. Man, I don't know what you're going through. I really don't. I can tell you that you better talk about it, but I don't have the answers. I can't believe he said that. I can't believe that. Like, I got no memory of that. I really did wholeheartedly believe that man could answer any question that I asked. And I guess that is an answer, right? He couldn't always right the ship. Sometimes it's just a matter of saying, you know what, I'm here. I'm here for you. And he was also the person that said to me, if you're trying to help somebody, you don't need all the answers. You just need a couple of questions. And I thought that was one of the most genius things I ever heard. You don't have to have all the answers to help somebody. You just got to have questions like, are you okay? Right? You want to talk about it? How long has this been going on? Right? Man, let's get up and walk around. Are you willing to go outside with me? You know what? We should probably get something to eat. You hungry? Just keeping somebody busy. It's a brief window when you're thinking about using. I read in the comments today, M. Hunt said, I thought about drinking today. I thought about drinking, but then, his mind went, and got rid of that thought. And a lot of times when we're new in recovery, or if it's just your newest incarnation of it, a lot of people spend 4 or 5 years going on the roller coaster, on and off, on and off. But if it's really new in the beginning, sometimes you feel like that thought, the automatic negative thought, or that feeling like, man, I really need to get some tar or whatever. You have a feeling that it's never going to go away, and you think to yourself, man, I am so uncomfortable right now. I cannot spend the next 6 years of my life like this. And very often people cave in when they really only needed about another 5 minutes. People, you know what? I am going to end up calling this one. M. Hunt is killing it, Conky Dong says. Peeps, I'm going to go into for about another 4 minutes or so. I'm going to do a half an hour so everybody can say goodbye to one another. I don't want to just end, but I'm going to go and not say anything between now and 5 o'clock tomorrow morning. Staying busy helped me keeping the old brain occupied, even with 1,000 little things. You know what? Yeah, programming is really huge. If you set up things that you're going to do every day that keep you busy, that's programming, and it's the best thing you can do in the world. It really is the absolute best thing that you can do in the world. Squirrel, what are you doing? You little snot. I'm trying to get a throat lozenge here, but if you get anything like this, Squirrel just goes completely nuts. Come here. Here. Are you happy? Now the squirrel in the basket is standing up in the basket, which makes picking her up always really difficult. Yeah, programming is the best thing that having a routine that you do. Conky Dunk, I'm absolutely going to do that. Lemon juice tea. I've got a type of tea that I can use too. This used to happen to me when I was speaking. It happened to me a lot. So I know that if I just lay down, I'll say another thing. And I don't mean lay down as in go lay down. I mean lay these down. If I don't do anything with my vocal cords between now and tomorrow morning, I could probably do a full show. And you know what? The morning crew, the people that are coming around on the morning crew, I'm astonished at the number of people who are showing up. And man, they're just fun as hell. They really are. There have been. I remember back in the day when I'd go on in the morning and you'd be lucky if 3 or 4 people were there. Lucky. A lot of times you're just filmed, knowing that a couple of people would catch it later. You have a boat. I have a bus. Yeah, that's that. Were you here for that? Because that's exactly what my brother said. I remember that day. He's like, I got a bus, but you got a boat. I had nothing to do with naming the lifeboat. Nothing. Lemon, honey, and green tea. Is it green tea? I wasn't 100% sure on that. I know that there's a certain tea that people always, always recommend for that. Sometimes there are no words, just sitting there and crying together. I always say divorce is worse than what I went through as a widow. I don't have to see or wonder if he's with another person. You know what? You want to hear a quick story? Here's one that I don't think I've told before. I'll tell you some. You want some heartbreak? I'll tell you some heartbreak that I got through. The irony that kills me: buses and boats make me extraordinarily ill. I avoid them both like the plague. Not anymore, brother. Not anymore, brother. Gladys O'Kravis. I was a divorce lawyer. Wow. All right, I'm going to tell you a story. And then I'm going to end with this story. Because you're talking about how divorce is horrible. And it is. I was incarcerated. And I got you're getting the divorce thing. And when I got out, I got my first cell phone. This is years later. I got my first cell phone. And, you start going online and it's like, I had 40,000 emails or something. You know what I mean? Like, And my old email address was just brutal, and I'm just in there like deleting stuff as fast as I can, and you have to put it on a computer because you just can't do it on the phone. And as I'm going down and I'm going down and I'm going down, there is some stuff going out, right? I'm sending emails and I'm looking at the dates. That's not possible, right? I wasn't using this. So someone was using my email. And it shouldn't have been like a wild thing to put together, right? Because if there's anyone that was going to figure out my password, and probably because it had something to do with her name, it was going to be my ex. And I ended up wasting about a week of my life trying to track where my money went, like the stolen the cash, and you Google anything and you leave a very distinctive trail. And at some point along the way, I ended up at my old Dropbox account, which had some pictures from New Orleans and some really cool vacations and things like that. However, at some point back in the day, we had a deal where both of our phones would go to Dropbox, and if we didn't go in and delete them, it would just keep the stuff. And there were some pictures in there that I would have really liked to have not seen. Right? There were those photos that, people take when they're together. Some pretty rugged photos. The trouble is, I wasn't in them. And I thought to myself, you know what? People move on. And that's part of life. Honestly, you can't really sit and opine and deal with that. You just got to kind of move on. And it's tough. It really is. Zan, thank you, ZW. So just about the time I think that I've got this licked, right? I got this mental thing licked, and I'm not even bothered by this. She can have a boyfriend, whatever. The date on the photo. I was in hopefully I'm back on. Hopefully I'm back on. Again, no big deal. The big deal was, during that period of time, my father was going over there and taking care of my ex. At the end of his life, he was going over there and giving money. She claimed the refrigerator broke down or something. He went and bought her a refrigerator. And while that's happening, there was a dude inside hiding. And this really caused a level of hate that I just can't tell you. And I know it's not healthy, and I've spent the last year and a half working on it. I really have. As far as, cheating on me and all that, I mean, you live a life of drugs or whatever. There's nobody that didn't have that happen to them, right? That's just one of those things that everybody has had to endure.
Lemon and honey.
Thank you. Lemon and honey and sugar. How's that, huh? Producer? A little bit of tea. I'm not going to go too much longer, but, cheating's not a big deal. And what really hurt me was just what had happened, that it was my father. I think that's probably what bummed me out, is just that it was my dad. I looked up a Bible spelling. Sarah means abundance. That's a really cool name. Where are you going, Pagan? Did Pagan take off? Did somebody say something? What happened to Pagan? That's Spanx, you're pretty funny. No, I mean, seriously, in the scheme of things, the big deal was my dad. That was what the big deal was. You know what, people? You can't hold people that do stuff like that. You think, man, infidelity, all of those things. Those are the kind of things that really should hurt you. I don't think you have any idea who I was. I don't think you have any idea who I was and how I lived my life. I was not a person that had a leg to stand on to judge people for anything they were doing. And I never beat a woman. I never did anything like that. But I had games and just I wasn't a good person. I wasn't. And if I had been a good person, I would not have. None of those things would have happened. She wouldn't have had to have been cheating because I still would have been there. And the more that I thought about it, the more that I realized that, you know what, man, it isn't a big deal. True story. It's not. The person she cheated on isn't even alive anymore. True story, right? This was a new creation, and it really was in every single way. It was a new creation, and when I say that the stuff in the rear view is the stuff in the rear view, it is. I'm vicious about that. Today was just tough because so many things from the past were getting shoved directly into my face. But I'll be really honest, I feel a whole lot better having talked to it. Just coming here and sort of kind of like journaling, but doing it out loud and talking to my chosen family has been a really cool thing. I have a long old bitter story from long ago. I'll email you tonight and tell you about. Do that. Oh, I love you too, Spanx. I really do. One of my favorite people in the world. Mom got pregnant with me at 44. She says, goodness, that is not a normal time to have kids. When the devil reminds you of the past, remind the devil of his future. Dubious Maximus. That's a really, really cool comment. That is a really cool comment. Yeah, I dig that. Stacy Michael says, good one. All right, peeps. I am going to go and coat my throat with all kinds of honey and other good stuff so that tomorrow we will be able to do this again. Because I really do, I really do want to be able to go live tomorrow. So I'm going to shoot for tomorrow at 5 a.m. And hopefully we're going to be able to do a longer show. Worst case, we'll bust out another half hour so that tomorrow night I can do a full one. But I think I'm going to be in good shape. Get to feeling better, Tommy. Much love and prayers. The truth of the matter is this is just throat. It's just from spending way too much time talking. And yesterday, I could not get this thing synced up with the microphone. And Charlie, you stink. I didn't have the microphone, so I had to kind of project, and that didn't do me any real good. That is a cool comment, but I'm more so may the devil greet me with whiskey kind of guy. You know what, Barella? Whatever works. Whatever works. It's the devil has plenty of whiskey, I'm sure. M. Hunt, I couldn't have said it better. Trust me, he's not going to be running out in the near future. I think that I've always believed that nothing does more damage than drugs and alcohol. If you just look at alcohol, 50% of the people who get shot in this country this year will be under the influence. And 50% of the people who shoot them will be under the influence. All right, peeps, I will be back tomorrow. Tomorrow will be a much better day, and it will pass. He's absolutely right. Or she, I don't know. Crazy Cat? No, I do know Crazy Cat. That is a cat in the basket. She's getting really big. Good night, everybody. We love you.